Good evening, I'm Kevin Christopher.
And I'm Nancy Cox. Thank you for joining us at 6. These are the last images of Savannah Spurlock leaving a Lexington bar with these two men.
Next to a traffic stop, police have identified and questioned the men in this surveillance video, but still no sign of Savannah. Conroy DeLuce sat down with her mother after the newest details were released, and that's the LEX 18 News story at 6.
On the morning of Friday, January 4th, Ellen Spurlock called and texted her daughter Savannah, wondering why at 2:30 in the morning she wasn't home yet. Finally, a FaceTime call came through.
She was obviously intoxicated, very intoxicated, but she kept professing to me that she was fine, she was with friends in Lexington, and that she promised she would be home in the morning.
But Savannah never returned home that morning. When she had called her mother hours before, it was moments after the surveillance footage was taken, showing her leaving the other bar in Lexington with two unknown men and a black truck. A Garrett County police officer spotted that same truck on Highway 52 last night and conducted a traffic stop.
He said, "This is the truck they're looking for." He said, "I'm actually on the way to make a voluntary statement this time."
Officer Evan Preston followed that truck to Richmond, and that's where investigators were able to identify and question 3 people about Savannah's disappearance.
That was a relief. Finally, maybe I'll get some answers of where she is now.
However, police said those questioned did not know what happened to Savannah.
It's very scary to me, but somebody knows something out there, and I need them to please come forward.
Covering the news, Conroy DeLuce, LEX 18 News.
Well, the cold is how we greeted the day today. The cold will be intensifying through the night and getting your day started tomorrow. If you thought this morning was cold, wait till tomorrow morning when we start out middle and upper teens. Wind chills will be down in the single digits. Right now, we're watching the cold air beginning to push southward. Frankfort's now down below freezing, sitting at 30. Flemingsburg's in the mid-20s. Lexington, we've dropped below freezing now at 31. The freeze line now, Mount Sterling, Richmond over to Danville. You're holding on to 34s, Monticello, Somerset, Williamsburg, London, Harlan, too. Max Track Live Doppler. Dying snow flurry, snow shower from Frenchburg on up to about Cynthiana. Some of that may be evaporating on the way down. We're talking about a future track that shows some clouds through the evening hours. I think these will be thinning out as we continue through the night tonight, setting the stage for the cold morning. And then we'll see increasing sunshine during the day tomorrow. And that leads still to another very cold day. We'll talk about that. And yes, we will, for whatever reason, talk about some snow possibilities. We'll do that for you in a few minutes.
Only if we have to. Thank you, Bill.
Well, that forecast has a Lexington homeless shelter planning to take in a lot of people over the next few days.
LEX 18's Catherine Collins is live at the Catholic Action Center to show us how they are preparing to help people on the streets and in their shelter.
That's right. The Catholic Action Center's compassionate caravan is loaded up, ready to go in just a few minutes to take supplies out to people on the streets tonight. They'll also be offering them a ride back here to the shelter to stay warm. Sorting through blankets, sleeping bags, and coats.
Even though we gave them supplies in December, by now those supplies are gone.
With the latest swing back to cold weather, Catholic Action Center Director Ginny Ramsey says people on the streets will need these donations.
We're hoping that we have enough supplies to get through this weekend.
James Barton, a resident at the Catholic Action Center, says he goes out with the compassionate caravan to try to get people off the streets and into the shelter.
I tell them that we have a warm place for them to lay down.
He knows what it's like to be stuck outside, and he's so glad he can offer people in Lexington support.
It's wonderful to see all this right here. All the stuff that's been donated and being able to get it out to the people that needs it. It's on the streets.
Ramsey expects a lot more people will look to the shelter for warmth this weekend.
I know we're going to need more food here because we can, when you gear up for additional 50, 60, 80 people in your house, it does change things.
She's confident the community will continue to step up with donations. And along with the compassionate caravan, you can also get a free ride to any Lexington shelter on LexTran while that emergency weather plan is in effect. Covering the news live in Lexington from the LEX 18 mobile newsroom. Back to you.
For the latest forecast around the clock, just log on to our website, lex18.com.
A new era in the Rowan County Clerk's office has begun. Elwood Cottle Jr. has taken the reins from Kim Davis. You'll remember Davis faced nationwide scrutiny and served jail time after refusing to issue marriage licenses once same-sex marriage was legalized.
Cottle says the transition has been a little bit challenging due in part to Davis's early exit, but he hopes to move the county forward from the past controversy. LEX 18's Kylan Mills reports.
In the early days of 2019 in Rowan County, an unlikely hero to many has emerged.
Whatever that law says, that's what we'll do here. So I welcome anyone into this office because everyone will be treated equal.
Elwood Cottle Jr. is now at the helm of the county clerk's office after beating embattled clerk Kim Davis in the 2018 election. Cottle says his first day open on January 2nd was a bit hectic.
We was hammered pretty much all day long, but it's nothing that we couldn't control.
Cottle said a lot of people were rushing to renew plates since Davis decided to close the office early and retire before her term was up in order to maintain benefits, according to the Moorhead News.
That did put a big pinch on people that was going out of town for the new year, going to travel, and so they was really concerned that they would get pulled over with expired tags.
They also couldn't process credit cards for part of the first day rush, but Cottle says his staff really pulled through.
I'm so excited for what's coming, and then I'm so at ease that, and I just keep going back to the staff, how great they are, how well they do their job.
Cottle tells us Davis didn't offer to help during the transition either. When we arrived, the county attorney was inside his office looking for bonds that were nowhere to be found. Still, he says he's forging forward, launching a new county clerk website today and hoping to bring a friendly atmosphere to his office for years to come.
We have picked up and moved on. I mean, the normal is back. So, and if you have to come back here and do a story, it's not going to be because of me.
Covering the news in Rowan County, Kylan Mills, LEX 18 News.
Now, we tried a number for Kimberly Davis listed in the white pages, and Kylan says a man told her she'd reached the home of former Rowan County Clerk Kim Davis, but he wouldn't put her on the phone and said she would have no comment about this story. Lawmakers made it clear they want to pass a school safety bill this year, and today they revealed this bill is their main concern.
So what's in it? That's still not known exactly. Carolina Buchek has the latest from the Capitol.
We now know what the top priority of this legislative session will be. Today on the Senate floor, Senate Bill 1 was introduced. The topic, school safety. Lawmakers wouldn't go into details on the bill because they say it's still not final. But they say after the school shooting in Marshall County, it's clear something must be done. So here's what we know about the bill so far. It will tackle school safety in different ways. The big things are increasing students' access to mental health resources, providing school districts with more school resource officers, and enforcing security updates to school buildings. But guns will not be in this bill. Last year, there was talk about arming teachers. Lawmakers say that idea didn't get good reviews.
We heard discussions from various aspects of that. We even did a survey that was sent out to school personnel. There was no strong appetite.
And lawmakers say more details about this bill will be made clear throughout this legislative session, and of course copies will be available to the public. Covering the news in Frankfort from the LEX Mobile Newsroom, back to you.
Two state representatives held a news conference today discussing a bill that's been filed that would allow the use of medical marijuana. If it's passed, House Bill 136 would make medical marijuana legal. The lawmakers sponsoring the bill say there are 40,000 to 60,000 people living in Kentucky in constant pain because of chronic conditions, and medical marijuana could help. It would be controlled. Patients would have to get approved and carry a card. The bill must go through the House and Senate, but it may not be easy. The Senate president has said in the past he would not support it.
A former Kentucky school teacher accused of pulling a little boy in Greenup County across the floor appeared in court this morning. Rena Abrams was arraigned on a misdemeanor assault charge. Claire Kopsky has the story.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have Trina Abrams on for arraignment this morning.
In court because of this video recorded back in October.
Get out. No.
It shows Abrams dragging 9-year-old Alan Jackson by his arms down the hallway at Wortland Elementary School in Greenup County. These actions reportedly an attempt to remove him from his classroom during an outburst.
That was 100% preventable. He's never been treated like this, ever.
The young boy has autism, and his mother says his sudden tantrums are just a part of who he is.
He was just having an outburst, which sometimes happens with kids on the spectrum. And he just needed time to relax and get redirected.
But she says time to relax was instead time being pulled down the hallway by his teacher. Abrams now faces a misdemeanor assault charge, but today her attorney entered a not guilty plea for her.
We would waive formal arraignment.
Even though Abrams was fired from her position at the school, the judge also added a note to this case today.
All right, I'll make it a condition of the court then not to be working in a school setting around juveniles unsupervised.
This story has already garnered national attention with a segment on NBC Nightly News last night. Abrams will be back in the headlines on February 20th when she's set to appear for her pretrial conference. Covering the news in Greenup County, Claire Kopsky, LEX 18 News.
Still ahead, more than 2 years after a Texas crash that killed a Kentucky father and his 3 sons, a woman has been indicted for their deaths.
The charges she faces in connection with that deadly crash are next on LEX 18 News at 6.